Hello, wonderful interpreters, and thank you again for tuning in. We do have news from PERC about our legal process, but before we get into that, I'm going to share with you what's been happening since Monday, starting the second week of the LNI scheduling system implementation. Please feel free to pause this video at any time to read the information that you see on the screen. As you can see here, this interpreter is detailing what transpired after signing up with My Language Link, aka Interpreting Works, sharing technical problems like work orders, disappearing from the portal, not receiving cancellation orders, and not receiving follow-up calls or emails whatsoever. This interpreter says, quote, "This wasn't a single event," end quote, as these issues kept on happening. Now, you do remember the LNI training session on April 10th, where Megan Lemon said we would have a grace period from April 12th to July 1st, right? See, we do not understand these contradicting messages we keep on getting from LNI officials. Here, this interpreter received an answer from Ryan Schmautz after trying to get an answer from Joe Sachs about all of this confusion. This was from yesterday, April 20th. Mr. Schmautz here says that independent interpreters must now stop attending appointments by May 15th. And that there will be a new code for on-demand appointments on July 1st. So now our restrictions will start along with the deactivation of agencies on May 15th, effectively ending our grace period on the same date. The last paragraph here says that providers will not be required to reschedule pre-existing appointments between April 12th and May 14th. So why is this happening? These are private emails and not part of an official announcement when it comes to independent interpreters. We still keep on getting reports all over the place from interpreters that are getting stripped of appointments that will happen in May but were scheduled before April 12th, like Dick's example here. Just today, another interpreter has scheduled an appointment that was supposed to take place on April 14th. But this interpreter shared this screenshot with me, as you can see here, showing that this local clinic was told by LNI to take that appointment away from this interpreter and load it on the scheduling system, not respecting their own conflicting deadlines. How outrageous is this? Here, an agency owner shared this with me. This interpreter contacted LNI about these contradictions, and this is the response received by this interpreter today, just hours ago. Now, Karen Jones herself is getting involved, as you can see here, in an attempt to now clarify the statements made by both Megan Lemon and Karen Ahrens from LNI on April 10th, when they said that the grace period would be until July 1st. In the end, she says, quote, "I acknowledge that their responses may not have clearly articulated the impact of the timeline on agencies," end quote. You think? What about independent interpreters that now can't bill directly after May 15th instead of July 1st, as we were promised? Here, she is revealing that despite an updated grace period until May 15th for everyone, LNI is strongly encouraging providers to schedule all appointments using the scheduling system starting on April 12th. Then I have a question. What is LNI having a grace period at all? What for? The second paragraph affirms here that everything goes through the scheduling system starting on May 15th. But independent interpreters can use the same billing code for urgent care, emergency situations, and walk-in appointments. And just like that, that's how they change policy on the fly, don't you think? Now, how does that make you feel? Knowing that they can take back whatever promises they make and repackage them any way they want. I want you to remember that WFC Local 1671 leaders used the old divide and conquer strategy, pitting us against each other and pointing out a few LNI fraud cases through the years, blowing things out of proportion as the reason why the system is supposedly unfair and needed to change. But as you can see here from this presentation directly coming from LNI, they conduct regular audits to whoever misbehaves, and they encourage everyone to report any fraud. And as you can see here, they have never needed a scheduling system to combat fraud because LNI aggressively investigates reports of fraud as they have many tools to catch people. You could see it here. And they will prosecute violators expeditiously. The same goes for any interpreter or agency that tries to bully other interpreters into not letting them work at the healthcare facilities that they frequent. So this scam from WFC Local 1671 to impose this web portal has always been debunked from the get-go. These WFC Local 1671 leaders pushed LNI to make these changes without your consent, without my consent, and they never worked LNI appointments in their life. But you know what? Now they are rejoicing while you and I cannot work. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, this lady is a WFC Local 1671 leader. Take a look at how happy she is. Here you can see that this is her first LNI appointment with the system, and read how at the bottom she says that she's happy to finally expand her services beyond HCA. And they want you to think that this is about fairness? Do you think this is fair? See, the problem is not the scheduling system itself. The thing is that now they're flooding the LNI system with potentially 1,500 plus interpreters. Now, these interpreters are not all Local 1671 dues paying members, as they have way less than 1,000 members. They've been losing people right and left. You know this, I've shown you this before. But there will be enough appointments for everyone because they want this portal to be the only option for providers to procure interpreters if they keep on getting their way. You won't have an opportunity to bill directly. You won't be able to share or receive appointments from your colleagues, and medical providers won't be able to request you often like before. WFC never cared about us, or even their own interpreters for that matter, and they are so happy now to get LNI jobs at our expense because they cannot make a living covering DSHS appointments. We all know this. WFC is happy with collecting your dues while you get part-time hours. That is the truth. Now that you see what's happening this week, let them celebrate for now. Yeah. Let's now review the news that we received from PERC about our legal process. So please, get yourself a nice tall glass of refreshing lemonade and come back to watch the news. As of my last video, you saw that PERC issued a preliminary ruling and our legal process advanced. LNI was given 21 days to respond. And I also told you that we would not be waiting 21 days for our next steps because we are being harmed right now. And we took action. As you can see here, we just filed a motion for temporary relief with PERC to put a stop to the irreparable damage inflicted on us by LNI, illegally changing our working conditions while our representation petition is pending. We need LNI to stop this implementation now while PERC makes a more permanent decision on our unfair labor practice complaint. But how does this work? Well, this is the law establishing the process. It says here that we have the right to file this motion since we submitted an unfair labor practice complaint, and it does state a cause of action, that the motion shall be expedited, and that we needed to submit affidavits stating the risk of irreparable harm. Well, guess what? We did submit more than enough affidavits from interpreters, and here you see that PERC's executive director is the one that forwards the evidence to the commission, which is composed of 3 part-time commissioners. This motion will be granted if one or more of the allegations is of such nature that if sustained, the complainant would have no fair or adequate remedy and would suffer irreparable harm. Then the executive director petitions the superior court of the county where the employer is for an injunction. This injunction will be to stop this implementation, and the complaint, which has been the basis for temporary relief, shall be heard expeditiously, given priority over all other cases. Now, we have submitted more than enough affidavits from interpreters, starting with mine, as you can see here, along with all the supporting evidence, proving irreparable harm being done to us. Links for this motion, affidavits, and evidence will be in the description box of this video. But wait, you may be asking yourself, what did PERC determine when they received our motion? Well, finally, as you can see here, PERC responded expeditiously as the law required. LNI has until April 27th to respond, 7 days. Then our motion will be forwarded to the Commission. After reviewing the evidence, we are more than confident that they will ask Thurston County Superior Court, the county where LNI resides, to stop this illegal implementation. Our evidence has been undeniable and our facts are solid. That's why we have been able to make it this far. This is going down no matter what. In closing, I want you to know that we do have the utmost respect for PERC officials, and I am confident that they will keep on making the right decisions. You see, WFC Local 1671 leaders know this. They also know that they have no influence within PERC. We, Washington interpreters, have been treated very fairly by PERC officials. They have treated us with respect since back in November last year when we started the election process. PERC officials are very neutral, and their only purpose is to ensure the integrity of the election process. Now, granted, they have made a couple of decisions that we have not agreed with, but they have also given us the opportunity to appeal and submit new evidence. And that's part of the reason why we're still here. Look how far we've come. All of this because of our solid facts and the unquestionable integrity from PERC officials. This is something not known to WFC leaders. They don't know the word integrity, even if it slaps them in the face. That's what these posers from WFC Local 1671 masquerading as leaders are afraid of. And they should be. You see, we're not playing games here. And they know that this implementation will be stopped. And there is no going back. Tick-tock, WFC leaders. Tick-tock. Now please, send us your side card if you haven't done it. Let's get this election done and get the representation that we sorely need in order to protect our jobs. Find all the links in the description box of this video and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video. Do not lose hope, and as always, God bless.